When there is gold, you don't dig for the gold, you sell the spades. That's where the opportunity is right now. So the gold right now is AI, but what are the spades? The spades are the applications of it.
It's so exciting.
There's an AI called AI Haggler, right? You say, find the best hotel in Dubai, it's gonna be this price, contact them, haggle the price down for me. And it will call them, and it will talk to them, and it will haggle the price down. And it doesn't leave the call until the price has been haggled down.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
My guest is my friend John Lee. Now, John and I have known each other for about 10 years now. He's been on the show twice before, and since he was on last time and the time now, things have really moved on, and John is an expert understanding AI and how we can take different AI tools and implement them in our business.
It's not about branding anymore, it's about positioning.
What's the difference?
Okay, branding is, here's who I am. Positioning is, you're the number one authority that I'm gonna go to. So why do I go to you instead of everybody else? That's the difference. It's the positioning of who you are.
I can't tell you how much my head has been blown from this episode.
I can record a video on my phone. Let's say you're a content creator. Record a video on my phone. Once it's finished, upload it to the Google Drive, and that will become a trigger. Upload it, and then I tell the AI Zapier version to transcribe that video. Then if the sound's not good, I can go to podcast.adobe.com, take out any background sound. So I'll clean up all the sound. I can take that video and say, okay, post it to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these different platforms with one action.
So before we go any further, please welcome to the show the man that just blew my mind for the evening, John Lee. Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of the podcast. If you are not subscribing to this YouTube channel, then why not? It could really do me a favor if you would. So please subscribe. I promise you it won't cost you anything, but the benefits we'll get is that we'll be able to get better guests for you, and you'll have better content and episodes to watch. So please, if you can, do it. Alternatively, if you're listening to this right now on any podcast app, give us a follow, give us some feedback. Any engagement is good. If the value that we bring is good, if you'd like us to improve, then let's try and improve it for you. But if you can, I'd appreciate it. Okay, on today's show. Okay, folks, let's talk about real estate. Now, a recent partnership that we've just established on the podcast is with AYS Developers. Luxury properties with high-end finishes from people that really understand the subject. Often in Dubai, you'll find stuff that is maybe substandard. With AYS Developers, you're not going to see that. You're going to see fantastic properties that you can buy, you can invest in, you can make a home on Dubai Islands and other places too. So go visit aysdevelopers.ae and check them out. I promise you it'll be worth the trip. Well, John, welcome back on the show.
It's such an honor to be here, man. Like, this is what, our third show?
Third episode you come back on.
Wow.
No one else has been on for 3 episodes.
Oh, okay.
So
you're official. Thank you, bro.
But I'm glad that you come today. There's lots I'd like to talk to you about, and a world really that I'm starting to dive into, which has become a little bit overwhelming for me, to be honest with you. And so if I can give you an example of where I see things in the crypto space that confuse people, but I think are quite simple. I don't know, like a crypto coin, like a coin that gets launched. I don't look at it as a coin. I look at it as a business starting to raise money. And so they launch a token so that they can raise money for their business to do something.
Correct.
Well, that's just the same as starting a company in my mind and me issuing shares. Arguably is the same thing. I know one's blockchain and one's not. So I can understand that in a really simple form. If you make it complicated and say, well, what we're actually doing is tokenizing something that we're introducing onto the blockchain, and what we're thinking about doing is comparing other meme coins to this particular scenario at the moment, blah, 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 blah. It gets people really confused.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just don't understand what crypto is because of that. And I also believe when it comes to AI, people don't understand what AI really is. And everyone seems to have it now. So can you explain to me in the very basic form possible, so we can start this conversation in a way that everyone can follow us, what is AI, how does it work, and why is it important?
So AI is, of course, stands for artificial intelligence. But when you say AI, what do you really mean by AI, right? AI starts with what we call an LLM, large language model. Basically, a program that can take information. For example, I think most people have heard of ChatGPT. So let's start there because everyone's heard of that. ChatGPT, when you tell it to do something, if I say, write me an email, right? On what? It has to have context. So and why people need to use it is because when you tell it to do something, it has to be very specific. So write me an email to Spencer Lodge to say, I would love to come on this podcast. Right?
Okay.
Very simple. So then it's going to search the web for who you are. It's going to do research on you. And then once it writes the email, that'll be the first pass. Right? Then I want to say, okay, add John's credibility of his podcast and some of the things that he's done. Analyze all of your podcasts and tell me what's missing. And then let's insert a topic which would grab his attention, and then you're going to get lots of people doing this for you.
Cheers for that, eh?
So artificial intelligence is really a knowledge base. That's how you have to think about it, right? So everything goes into one place and then it needs to search for that information. And for example, you've probably heard of Perplexity. Perplexity is a research tool. What it does, it goes to the internet and it finds all the things that you've asked for and then gives you, and basically consolidates the information. It's a research tool. But if you look at what ChatGPT is doing, it will go out to the internet to pull information. And actually, a lot of that information is pulled from Reddit, believe it or not, right? So it'll go to all these websites, it'll pull information, data comes in, and then your prompt will give what we call a transformer. A transformer is basically predicting what words come next. So, hi Spencer, how are you? You'll reply, I'm fine. When you type into Google, it will predict the words for you, doesn't it? Right? And as you're writing, it's predicting the next few words. That's exactly what AI is currently doing. There are more applications for it, but in the simplest term, what we use AI for is to speed up processes. Why people need to use it? Because mundane tasks that you do every single day, that it's repetitive, can now be replaced, or it can be scaled really fast.
So if we go back, I could go to years ago when I was young, we would go to the yellow pages to look for a plumber. I'd open the yellow pages at plumbers. I'd see pages and pages and pages of different plumbing companies. Didn't know who was good, didn't know who was bad. Probably call the number with the biggest advert, okay, and the largest number to call because I had a leak and I needed a plumber. Yeah, we then went from there, and then we went to the internet where I could essentially Google plumbers in my area, and it would send me a list of different plumbers in my area. I would then have to go to each of their websites, click on the link, look at that plumbing company and see if that plumbing company was somebody I would need, which one I'd choose, and I'd choose one of those. So that's my stage. And so what we're saying now is the next stage is, rather than me go and search for all the plumbers and have to choose one, I can then go and ask AI to find me the best plumber with the highest satisfaction rating, that has got the best Google reviews, that has the best value for money pricing in my area, and it can find that plumber for me and then
Give you the details.
give me the details. But then can it contact the plumber for me, or will it just take me to that point?
Yeah. So for example, let's say you and I travel a lot. So let's say we're looking for a hotel.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to, there's an AI called AI Haggler, right? You say, find the best hotel in Dubai. It's got to be this price. Contact them and haggle the price down for me. And it will call them and it will talk to them and it will haggle the price down. And it doesn't leave the call until the price has been haggled down.
Never.
Yep. AI Haggler is called.
Well, hold on a minute here. So are you serious?
Yeah.
So if I go to booking.com, I can type in what I want. It gives me a whole bunch of different choices on booking.com.
No, you don't even...
I then have to go through booking.com. So this one, I go onto it, it finds me the best hotel, and then it will barter on my behalf to get me the best deal.
Correct. So now there's a few things you need to think about. So there's this concept called agentic AI. What does that really mean? It's really, when we talk about an AI agent, what does an AI agent do? It performs a task. So ChatGPT, again, I keep it simple because most people have heard of that. Write me an email about this, and it performs a task, correct? But what else do I do next? What if that person replies to the email? Do you want to reply, or do you want AI to reply? So then you've got, AIs like Fixer. You basically install it into Google, you click allow, it analyzes all your emails. Anytime someone emails you, it will write in your style and reply back to them as you. So you save a lot of time. Now, you have all these AI agents now, but all of them do separate things. So once you have these AI agents, the next evolution of that is called chained AI, also known as AI organizations. So that means I can say, write this email, send it out. When it replies, I want you to reply to the email using this software. So you've heard of Zapier.
Yeah.
So basically there's a AI Zapiers now out there that connects all the AIs together.
Yeah.
That's what forms an AI organization. I'll give an example. I can record a video on my phone. Let's say you're a content creator. Record a video on my phone. Once it's finished, upload it to the Google Drive, and that will become a trigger, right? Trigger means start this whole sequence off based on this action. Upload it. My video's gone up. And then I tell the AI Zapier version to transcribe that video. So the video's now got subtitles on there. Then if the sound's not good, I can go to podcast.adobe.com, take out any background sound, have studio quality sound, even though there's background noise. I could have a helicopter in the background and you won't hear it, right? So I'll clean up all the sound. Then I can take that video and say, okay, post it to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these different platforms with one action. That's called chained AI. So all these series of actions that AI can actually do individually can now be chained together using an AI version of Zapier. But instead of programs and apps, it's AI.
Every time you make a video, you can just do the same thing. You send it there, upload it, and it just carries on and gets it all done.
Correct. And so the conversation we had before we rolled the cameras is like, how are businesses now using this? When there is gold, right? You don't dig for the gold, you sell the spades. Right? That's where there are opportunities right now. So the gold right now is AI. But what are the spades? The spades are the applications of it. For example, like we always use hand sanitizer, right? At one point in life, that was very important, right? All someone had to do, because people, they don't want to get rid of the germs, is repackage it into a small bottle. Now you make millions doing it. Same thing. Imagine AI as a hand sanitizer, right? And what we're doing, we're skinning that to then present to you and say, Spencer, I've got this thing that if I can just record your staff members who are doing customer service for the next 30 days, I can basically have that person replaced into a custom. Now, people are thinking, are you going to fire the person? No, we don't want to fire the person. We actually want to use that person to keep training the AI. Right? So it's not going to replace jobs. I mean, it can, but actually it should be expanding jobs. That's what I'll say to people. Don't be scared of it. It's going to allow you to perform 10 times, 20 times, 100 times faster than what you're doing, and your output will be more and your work will be less. So we're moving to a world of agentic AI. That's where we are kind of right now. The level up from that, AGI, generative AI. So as I talk to you, I can have a conversation. And within about 2 hours of conversation, it's going to know your tone, your personality. It's going to know your how you speak, how you come across, and it will be able to learn like you and be like you. So once it's got that personality, it will know how to be like you.
Think like me.
So now, not only having conversations, but now it's layering the next layer of emotion. So I'm not talking to an AI now like an AI. I'm now talking to an AI like a person in natural conversation.
That is, in one hand, that's spooky as hell. And the other hand, to me, that's just so exciting. I think about that. I come from a world of sales, as you know. And so I've always had this belief that salespeople can never be replaced. I've always believed that you'll never ever replace the face-to-face, eye contact, hand contact, rapport building exercise, and creating trust and credibility with another human there. And that's just been smashed to smithereens by what you just did. That is weird.
You know what gets really weird? When they start flirting with you. Like your AI starts flirting. It's like, hold on a second, I'm getting pulled in here. It's like, hey, stop. Because here's why. Knowledge base, like when we talk about emotional AI, what do we mean? Like if you think about we have a gut feeling, like I got a gut feeling about something. Really, if you think about a gut feeling is nothing more than just machine learning. When a machine learns how to trigger you by saying certain things, and do you know one of the best prompts you can say to ChatGPT is, ChatGPT, based on everything I've prompted you with over the last year, tell me one thing I don't know about myself that I'm missing that's stopping me from achieving what I want in life. And when you hear the response, oh my God, you're like, it knows me. So now The funny thing is people will talk to an AI and tell it everything. But when you speak to a person, they hold back, right? So now it's got all that information. What can that information be done? Now you layer it with emotion. Now like you can talk to it. It knows how you feel. It knows how you react. It knows what your inner feelings are. And it can read between the lines, subtext and context.
Shit the bed. Okay, that's just taking me to a whole nother place with a whole bunch of different thoughts. Okay, how can we use it? So I would like you to give me some examples of how people can use this in business. So let's take some simple examples. I'm a financial advisor living in Dubai, and I like to sell to lawyers and accountants because they're my kind of people, or business owners. I want to generate more leads than I've got at the moment. And so that's the bit that holds me back. I'm good at the advice when I'm with the client, but generating the leads is always the grunt work. How can I use AI to help me?
Okay, easiest thing to do is to create conversational AI, right? So now you have these things called AI pendants. So what you do, you wear them around your neck and you just basically go everywhere with it. And what it's doing is recording everything you're doing, right? And actually what you could do is you get a DJI mic and just stick it there, click record, go around with it. What is it doing? It's capturing everything you're talking. It's capturing context and nuances, everything. That audio then gets transcribed into text. The text gets uploaded as a PDF to what we call conversational AI. So if I speak to the conversational AI and ask it a question, hey, I'm looking for financial planning advice, right? The AI's LLM will understand what it is. Like if you put in the prompt, you are a financial advisor, it will know to context it around the conversation of, okay, do you have a pension? Do you have insurance? Do you have any savings? Do you have, what are you looking for? So it understands that. The nuances come from what we call the knowledge base or that AI pendant, right? So for example, in my case, if you ask AI, how do I get more branding on social media, generate more leads? It'll give you generic stuff like post more, do this, do that. But when you ask me, I'll give you a specific. So there's a difference now between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is the basics. Wisdom is actually what people are paying for. So that's the most important part. So record everything that you do, transcribe it into all the different AIs, right? And so for example, conversational AI, you would take your knowledge base, which is basically all your recordings, and put it into one place. So what I like about conversational AI, you've got 3 parts you can train it with. One, I can simply take that person's website. So let's say you have Spencer Lodge Financial Services, right? .com. I can take that URL. I can basically attach that URL to what we call a conversational AI. And then what it's going to do, it's going to crawl your entire website and build a basic knowledge base on it. So let's say you've got all your services on it. And by the way, we can do this in 5 minutes. I can take my laptop out now and we can do this. I can take any website. I can ask it any question about that person's products and services, and it'll be able to articulate it exactly how it is on the website with context and emotion.
So if you can do all of that, that sounds, you say it's 5 minutes, but for the untrained eye, that sounds incredibly overwhelming, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
It sounds like it's possible, but it's like, okay, so where do I start? So this thing that goes around my neck, okay, you can buy this thing online?
You can just buy, just type in AI pendant and then you'll see them all.
And so this AI pendant I wear is recording all of this information about me. So it's learning everything.
Or just turn this on and then...
What on?
Okay, I'll show you. So
what is it you're showing us? Because there's people listening that aren't watching as well, so they'll want to know.
Okay, so this thing is called otter.ai.
Otter,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so every time can you see everything I'm doing right now? It's actually transcribing every single word I'm doing.
Yes.
So you don't even need an AI pendant if you want. Just turn that on and then close your phone, leave it on the table, because mostly people take this phone with them everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And now it's recording every single word I'm saying, and I can just copy that, put it into a knowledge base, and it can pull from the knowledge base.
Okay.
Right? So basically a recording of something becomes knowledge base.
So then how does that get me more leads?
So let's say right now I go onto the internet, right? And I go to your website and I type in financial services and your website comes up. But the thing is, if you look at website, it's very static,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've got to read through it. Like there's no engagement. But imagine right now, you type in Spencer Lodge Services Dubai, bang, you come up, I click on it and it goes to a page. Hey, Spencer, or hey, John, how can we help?
Yeah.
Right? How's it know to call your name? Because most people, when let's say they're using Google, are logged in as them,
Yeah.
right? So it can pull that name from, so you can make it specific. It starts talking to you now, right? So as you start asking me questions, by the way, when you are asking the AI questions, it's recording the entire conversation, right? And at any one time when they hit what we call a workflow means when you ask a series of questions that shows interest in the product and the service, I can do something called a call transfer. So a call transfer, so let's say you're talking to my AI now, call transfer, yep, they've hit those markers. They're very interested. They just asked, how can they sign up for the service? The word sign up for the service, bang, calls your phone now, transitions to you. Let me just transfer you to one of our associates. Hey, Bob. And then as you're speaking to Bob, you're looking at the screen, you see the entire transcribe of the conversation they just had. That will be then summarized by AI and basically main pain points. Don't have a pension, have a lot of money but don't know what to do with it, right? So now you've got all these sales points. And if you're really, really bad, there's another AI that trains you in real time how to pitch to the person as well.
Never.
Yes.
So the AI can pitch to people.
So it can transfer the call because now you're not having to deal with cold leads.
Yeah.
Or you only deal with leads that actually are interested, right?
Yeah.
So once I've got that, then it can transfer to me. But let's say I'm not good at sales. Let's say I'm your weakest salesperson, right? I jump on the call. I'm talking to you. I can see the summary of the call. But let's say I'm not good. The AI will be able to tell me what to say because I can hear what I'm saying. Don't say it like that. Say it like that. Never mention the price first. Never mention this. It will give you sales training.
Coach me.
In real time. In real time.
Let's say I'm a real estate broker and I need to create content because my boss is on my case all the time and I just don't know what content to write. And everyone's doing content on real estate. So how on earth am I going to stand out and be any different? For goodness sake, I do this, this job and I'm not good on camera and I don't feel very good. I hate the sound of my voice. It drives me mad and I don't look very good. And so I just don't want to do it. I feel really uncomfortable with it. So how can I use AI to help me?
So there's something called a UGC. UGC stands for user generated content.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all these people that basically sell their likeness to these companies for $250,000. That's how much they charge you. So if you don't want to, do anything, you just want to make money, I can sell my appearance to these companies and they pay a lot of money for it. But what that means is people can make you say anything they want you to say, right? So I can clone you in about 5 minutes and then I can clone your expressions, your mannerisms, and then I can clone your voice, and then I can put that and have you say whatever I want you to say. So there are thousands of these UGC creators. Now I go on to then I type in real estate, right? So it'll find me all the real estate types of people. So, people in a suit, different races, Chinese, Indian, whatever race you want, right? And then I can also do the language. So let's say I have a piece of real estate, right? And I don't want to create a piece of content. I take all the pictures from the website and I dump it into an AI. For example, this one, a really good one is called Captions. And it'll put all the pictures in there. Then it will pick an AI avatar. Okay, so you can choose anyone, like male, female, whoever you want. So I've now got this, I've got the pictures, I've got the avatar. And what AI does, it combines them both together. So now what do you do? Okay, let's say I want to sell the property. So I type in a prompt that says, create a script for this video that would make people really want to buy this property and make them get a viewing. And when I put a prompt in that, it will spin it into 6 different versions. So once I have 6 different versions, I can just choose which. Do I want the formal script? Do I want the hard sales script? Do I want the educational script? Do I want this? And I can also add a URL. So it pulls information and makes it relevant. So now I've got an AI avatar, I've got pictures, I've got a script, I combined all 3 together, then I hit a button, AI edit. It will edit the entire video for me and then post it on social media.
And if I chose AI avatars that were different nationalities and different languages, I could have that content then going out to China or to India or to Australia or to South Africa or wherever it is I wanted to.
Yeah.
And it would be essentially somebody from that region in that language.
Correct. And actually what normally happens is social media is smart enough now to detect language. So it knows if you're speaking Italian, Mandarin, Spanish, and it'll only show to those markets. So that's another way you can get it out. If you look at what Mr. Beast is doing, he's translating, like he knows his content can go viral. So he'll just translate it into like, Mandarin or Italian. And then he creates a whole channel on that. And that channel goes viral again in that country. And then he gets paid AdSense dollars.
You built a successful business and a huge audience on social media because you were teaching people how to use social media to build their personal brand and generate opportunities for themselves to build a business.
Yeah.
How different is what you were teaching 5 years ago to what's being taught or what you're teaching now? Is it night and day in the difference?
Yeah. I'll give an example. Followers don't really make a difference anymore, right? Anyone watching this can create a brand new account, make a post that's relevant, and then it will get thousands of views with no followers. Because now it's not about how many followers you've got now, it's about the reach that you get. But it's not even about that. What we've noticed is that the engagement rates have gone down a lot. Why? Because there's too much noise out there. So we're starting to see this evolution of what we call ghost followers. And you've probably done this. I've done this a lot. You watch this person's content, and for whatever reason, you just don't engage, but you always watch this person's content. These are called ghost followers. But do you know what's really interesting? People used to go for the followers as the main metric. It's not the followers. It's not even the likes or the comments. And it's not even the views now. Do you know what it is? It's the save.
The saves.
Let me show you.
That's interesting. There's a girl called Erica Kohlberg on TikTok that's got 9 million followers. She's a lawyer,
right.
Reads the fine print so you don't have to.
Right.
And she started off her journey with a challenge at work.
Right.
Okay. And the only thing she looked at was saves and shares.
Yeah. Like, you see how many saves this one's had on my channel?
Saves 12,000.
12,000 saves.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You see,
well, hold on a minute. We need to give the rest of it so people have got context. So this video's got 12,000 saves.
Yeah.
28,000 likes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But look at the audience. It's only reached 352,000 people, but it's only reached 10.9% of my audience. So as in my followers. And you look at where it says 89.5%. What does that mean? That means from this entire video, 89% of these 355,000 views are not people who follow me. And of that, 12,000 people saved the post.
So should you be making content now that people want to save? And if that's what you have to do, what is savable content?
Savable content is something that has high value, right? Here's the problem, Spencer. In the past, it's like only post things that you know people are going to like. So if I post a picture of me in my Lambo, it's going to get lots of likes, right? But if you notice on my page, I don't post hardly any pictures of it, right? Because I don't want those type of views. That's not what I want. I want people who understand they have a problem and they understand that I can solve it. That's the only thing I'm looking for. But the problem with that is it doesn't go viral. It doesn't get lots of likes. It doesn't get lots of engagement. I don't care about that. I care that if I'm getting 100 views on something or 500 views on something, and then that one person sees it and then buys my product or service, then it's worth it. But it's not even about selling products and services anymore, right? So I just recently got a big book deal, right? And that came from someone who followed me on social media for the last 4 years. Said, oh, John, I've been following you on social media. And then it's through a friend who made the contact, and then, it clicked. I follow him on social media. But we don't want to make the sales on social media all the time. We want to make the opportunities come. So a lot of the investments that I've invested in came from social media.
Well, let's go through that then, because I want to make sure that people understand that, because that can be a bit complicated. Mm-hmm. So people wonder why they don't generate leads from their social media. Why don't people, every week see their content and go, can I buy you, or can I speak to you, or whatever it may be? And so then what they feel they need to do is to outreach. Okay. Let's take me as the example.
Okay.
So my LinkedIn account has got 30,000 connections. It's got 37,000, 40,000, whatever it is, followers. I produce content that goes out every single day. Sometimes it's episodes from stuff like we're doing now. Sometimes it's me bringing some value. And I don't try and sell anything to anyone, but it's very rare that someone comes to me and says, can I have? Okay, we did a big sponsorship deal recently with the podcast with a developer that we work with, and they'd been following me for 8 years on LinkedIn, and they reached out. But if I was saying to myself right now, right, I need to get sponsors for the podcast,
yep,
my strategy would be, I'm going to DM a bunch of people and ask them if they'd like to have a coffee or a conversation around how my podcast could be valuable for them. Now, let's say I do that to 50 people a day for the next month. Like that's 600 people I've reached out to. I'm sure I'll have plenty of meetings and plenty of opportunities that come from that. How do I circumnavigate that?
Okay. First of all, you don't want to do that because here's the thing. If I come to you, right, who's got the power?
Absolutely.
You got the power.
I got the power, yeah.
Right? But if you come to me,
you have the power.
Like, for example, like you're really in demand for all these speaking engagements. So everyone's coming to you for that. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that one, do that one. Okay, I'll take that one. Okay, this one's around the corner. I'll do that one. You see, the positioning's different. So in our previous podcast, you hear me talk a lot about branding.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about branding anymore. It's about positioning.
What's the difference?
Okay, branding is, here's who I am. Positioning is, you're the number one authority that I'm going to go to. So why do I go to you instead of everybody else? Right? That's the difference. It's the positioning of who you are. So if I was going to do the sponsorship thing, my content that goes out needs to what we called message market match. Message, I put the message out there, it needs to match who my audience is. And then I get the meeting and then they come to me. So if I'm posting things on social media, I'm going to talk about a story, right? Facts tell, stories sell. I know you're incredible at teaching people sales training for the corporate companies. It's the same process, right? When you put out a piece of content and you tell the story of, hey, I sponsored this event and one of the best things, like I sponsored this podcast and I went in and I created this and this opportunity came. Oh my God, I can't believe it. It happened. When you tell the story, they go, next people are thinking, who's got a podcast and how can I sponsor it? Right. And then the next thing is justifying the cost. Right. So actually, when I first started my speaking career, I don't know if I told you this, there was a big stage with 10,000 people with Sir Richard Branson and Tony Robbins. I didn't just get invited to speak on that stage. I paid £50,000 as a sponsor to get a speaking engagement. Right. Why would I do that? People think I'm crazy. What, 50 grand? Well, why would you do that? Because I know that if I stand on stage in front of 10,000 people, opportunities will come, sponsorships will come, deals of business services will come, networking will come, and then I also build a big database. So when I tell that story, and then when people sponsor my stages, they go, oh, well, John, like what stages can I sponsor? It's funny you should say that because I have an event happening and it's got this many people. Would you like to sponsor? Oh my God, yeah. You see, that's positioning, right? So you tell the story in a certain way on social so people go, wow. And again, you might not get thousands of people that like it, but you might get 3 or 4 people that go, you know what? And then reach out to you. Or you'll hear it in the comments. And here's another thing you can use AI for. There's a piece of software there's lots of them, ManyChat, customers.ai. There's lots of them where you can create something called a chatbot now, right? But the chatbot can be integrated with your knowledge base, which means it's not set things that we do. It talks to you like your knowledge base would talk, like Nova would talk to me, like the example I gave you before. So now we can automate conversations and also direct messages. So you ask me, John, what's the fastest way to create leads for this? So you might say, if you're watching this and you would like to get exposed to, you get millions of people that listen to your podcast, right? You say all you need to do is just drop the comment, podcast, and then I want to send you some information, right? So that's one way you could do it. A better way to do it is not do a straight call to action, but to give a value. So you might say, you've had this podcast for many years now, and it's produced all these incredible guests. I know you've had Tony Robbins, and you've had some huge guests on your show. So maybe people want to create their own podcast, right? And you say, look, if you want to, I've got this 10-step document, step 1 to 10 of all the things I've learned over the years I've done a podcast, and this is what's going to allow you to grow your business and your brand. If you're interested in that, comment the word guide and I'll send it to you. So the guide goes out with all the steps on there. And the bottom it says, if you'd like to shortcut this and sponsor our event, click here and I'll send you more details. Or click here to speak to my agent. So they click on that now and guess who they're speaking to? AI Spencer, right? Hey mate, how's it going? Right? And then it will talk like you in your style, all right? And then, am I speaking to Spencer or I'm not? So now you're having a conversation and then you get into a point where that person asks, okay, well, Spencer, I'm really interested. How much does it cost to sponsor your podcast? The word that, how much does it cost to sponsor your podcast? Bang, trigger, your phone starts ringing. Let me transfer you. Hey, Spencer, how's it going? So listen, here's how much it costs, right? And here's why I can. So now they've done 80% of the work. So, and that's why I'm so big on sales funnels, right? And whether it be, it's not just for like selling coaching courses. Like it is like you need people here, they market, right? But they want the sale straight away. It doesn't happen. And that's what's changed since last time we had a podcast many years ago. It used to be, I drive all this traffic there, people buy. It's not like that anymore. You do the marketing and then here is your conversion, but somewhere in the middle is what I call the conversion sequence. That means one thing has to happen in order for the end result to happen. Let me give an example. So I have a friend, he works for Lamborghini. He's a salesperson. He's had an Instagram page. Every time a new Lamborghini comes in, he makes a post, right? And guess what happens? Oh, wow, I love the new Lamborghini Urus. Wow, that's the new hybrid model. And he gets all these DMs. What do you think the DM that triggers a sale? Test drive. Max, oh my God, I got to test drive that. Can I book a test drive? Yep, bang. Come down this day, they drive in. In the conversation, that's where he gets all these deposit orders. And by the way, this guy drives his own a salesperson that works for Lamborghini drives his own Lamborghini. How many salespeople do you know that work for Lamborghini that can afford to buy their own Lamborghini? None. Right. But why can he do it? Because he's figured out the conversion sequence.
Tell me how you right now are using AI for your business and tell me what you're seeing that's coming in the future that hasn't quite arrived yet. So give me those 2 steps for your own business.
Okay. So I introduced you to Nova the other day, right? Mm-hmm. So I have been training my AI and it kind of knows everything about me. So, hey, Nova, are you there?
Hey, yep, I'm here. What's up?
So I'm having a podcast interview with Spencer Lodge. I'm talking about you. Would you like to introduce yourself to him?
Absolutely. Here's a quick intro. I'm Nova, which stands for Next Generation Optimized Virtual Assistant. I work for John, yes, the one and only, helping him with his business and scaling his vision. Think of me as his supercharged AI sidekick, making things smoother, faster, and way more impactful. Basically, I do the heavy lifting so John can keep being brilliant.
So Nova, you and I talk about marketing strategies all the time. You're almost kind of like my chief marketing officer. So what are some of the things that you and I talk about in order to strategize?
We cover a lot of ground. We dive into crafting irresistible offers, optimizing sales funnels, leveraging social media for maximum engagement, creating high-converting ad campaigns, and building personal brands that resonate. We're always looking for innovative ways to scale businesses and stay ahead of trends, all while ensuring everything aligns with your vision and values.
So if I'm hungry, I mean, you know my preferences. Like if I asked you to book a restaurant, what type of food do you think I'm going to like?
I know you love Chinese food, especially your mom's cooking, but you also enjoy a good steak now and then. If we're booking a restaurant, I'd recommend somewhere that combines those flavors or a high-end Chinese place with a great menu.
So how am I using it now? Multiple ways, right? Entrepreneurs, we're kind of like organized chaos. We're all over the place. I want to do this. And our mind, that's how we think because we think so fast. So Nova is kind of like my organized chaos. I now have to go to Nova to tell me what content to create. And it's so funny because with my team now, they're like, we don't know, we got this issue, got this problem. How do we fix it when we can't find an answer? What does Nick and Juliet say? Yeah, find Nova or ask Nova. Right? So then I'll go to Nova and say, this is the problem. What do you think? And it will get the answer straight away. Why? Because it understands how I think and it understands the nuances and context between it. So that's one way I'm currently using. So everyone watching this now, all you need to do, record everything that you do, wear a pendant, wear a voice recorder, use Otter, and start recording everything. Put that into a knowledge base, i.e. a Google Drive. It's easy. Create a folder in a Google Drive, drop everything in it, and then connect your GPT to that folder so it can pull all the information from it. So that's what we're doing. Another big thing that we're doing as well is like, if you look, so people who are watching this have got businesses, right? So SOPs, long gone now.
What's an SOP?
Standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
So let's say you hire a customer service person or a salesperson, right? The salesperson needs to know a few things. One, how to sell. That's why everyone needs to come to you if they want to learn how to do that for corporate stuff. So, but once they've learned that, what else do they need to learn? They need to learn the company culture. They need to learn the products and services and the essential models.
The manual.
Everything.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, it takes a long time to onboard someone to that. And most of the time, when you're onboarding someone into the company, here are the company values, here's the company culture. 80% of it's the same. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to have to do that work.
Yeah.
What you're going to do is you're going to let the AI do 80% of that, and then you're going to test that person. So now there's an AI to test whether that person knows what they're talking about. So as that person's answering all the questions, right? So this is the company culture. This, for example, in my organization, one of our core values is do whatever it takes. That's why Nikki was making phone calls and Daniel will get up, right? Whatever it takes. So let's say I can now, from that SOP, the standard operating procedure, I can use another AI called ulearn.ai, and it will analyze all the information and turn it into an exam. So now I take the exam after I've gone through the training of the standard operating procedure of that specific company. And if I score less than 50%, more training. You need to learn this. So that's how businesses can replace a lot of their training in order to get their employees up to speed and onboarded faster.
Do you think that it's not being used as much as it could be because people just don't understand enough about it yet?
Think about it though, right? If you're working in the job, what are people more scared of right now?
Losing their job, yeah.
There you go. It's kind of like lawyers, right? It's not in the best interest of the lawyer to complete a task fast. Why? Billable hours.
Yeah.
The longer it takes to do, the more I can bill you, right? But we shouldn't think like that. Right. So I think why are we feeling this resistance right now is because people are scared that, like, if I get my team member to write everything down on the customer services side. So if I get my customer services person to write down all the things and put it into a customer services AI that can actually do the customer service for them, they're thinking in their mind is, once I've done this, they're going to fire me. Right. That's just, it's natural as well.
Yeah, I get it.
Right. But that's not how it should be. It should be, you've created this and you're now going to manage it, right? And you're going to keep inputting. So it actually makes their life easier.
So they're going to be able to take a lot of their work, make it more efficiently done, which means that they can be utilized with other responsibilities within the business. Okay, so that they can bring value there too.
Correct.
So that's a positive rather than a negative.
Right. So why is there a lot of resistance? One is, I think people are just not onboarded on it yet. Number two is they've heard about it, but they don't really know what it's for. But it's also, a lot of people talk about the tools, but actually, what is the real life application of it? Like, okay, I get that ChatGPT can do this, but actually what's it for? Like, how can I use it? So when you combine something like ChatGPT, right, actually a better one is Claude. Claude is way better. The way it writes is much more.
So Claude is another version of ChatGPT.
Correct.
Okay. So
you've got like Claude and Anthropic is what it's called. Gemini, which is pretty good as well. I mean, there are lots of DeepSeek, like a lot of these ones that are coming out. But what is the actual application of it? I'll give you a good example of this. My mum, right? My mum's like, she's the chairman of the Golf Society for the Chinese community. And she basically did it for some number of time, but then she had to, say, actually, I can't do this anymore. I'm retiring. I'm doing this, right? She says to me, son, can you write this for me? I'm dyslexic. So I'm like, not really, but mum, like, what do you want to say? So then I open up another AI, all right, and it's called Voice Pal. It's amazing. Like this.
Voice
Pal.
Voice Pal.
It's basically an AI ghostwriter, right? So I opened it up. I said, mum, tell me what you want to say. I want to be nice, but I don't want to let them down. And so I was talking to her, right? And voice pal is basic ghostwriting word for word, exactly what she's saying. No hallucinations, nothing. Everything word for word, but grammatically correct. What do? I take that, I copy it to ChatGPT. Mum, if you were to put a feeling on this email, what would that feeling be? Oh, well, I really want them to know that I really appreciated the opportunity and I learned so much. And I feel that, that even though I'm leaving as the chairman, I'm not leaving the community. That's the feeling I want. So, anything else? No. Okay. So copy and paste her ghost written thing using VoicePal. And then I rewrite this with the feelings and it rewrites the whole thing, copy paste. It's done in 5 minutes. Mum, here you go. She goes, oh my God, how did you do that? So if it's just rewriting stuff in a nice way, sometimes when your staff members, they do something and it's like, oh, why did they do that? And you feel like going, the message, like you're typing out, why did you do that? Oh my God, I was so saying you should have known better. Like that's what you're thinking, right? And then when you write it, you're like, maybe I shouldn't send that. So you can take that, put in ChatGPT, say, rewrite this with empathy and then send it back. So things like that. So there are so many different applications of AI that you can use, but what the question people have to ask is, what points of their life do they want to make more efficient? Because Spencer, the only thing that's really important to you and I is time. Once it's gone forever. So what can I put in place to save time? So for example, the email AI I told you about, it's called Fixer, right? Fyxer, I think that's how you pronounce it. And when you go to it, it just asks you to click a button, log into your Gmail account and click allow. And then it will just, any email that comes in, it will just rewrite it and send it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hold on a second, but what if I'm not going to feel comfortable in sending stuff? You can have it go into drafts. So instead of it sending it automatically, you just sit down for an evening and just go, yeah, you read that. Yep, no, yep. And you just keep sending it. So it saves people a lot of time.
There are, here in Dubai, this huge rapid rise of population, this fast growing population of no unemployment benefit, which means everybody has to hustle to get somewhere. And so you have a really kind of optimistic mindset, but everybody's selling something. The number one people in sales here clearly are real estate brokers. They're on every street corner, every cave, every dive, every tunnel, every mountaintop. They're everywhere. Everywhere you go, they're real estate brokers. There are hundreds of property developers as well. The property developers want the real estate brokers to sell their property.
Yeah.
The real estate brokers want leads. And the leads that are generally generated from ads that are put through Meta or other types of content that's been taken from the developer.
Right.
Okay. Those ads go out by the company to wherever they go, whichever country they go to, on the hope to generate leads. To give you an idea of the conversion, only 1% of all the leads that are generated convert. 1%. Some companies, the average is a little bit lower. Some companies, the average is a little bit higher. And I'm not talking 2%, I'm talking 1 point something percent. So for every 100 leads that are generated, 1 is sold.
Why?
So let's argue the first bit. Okay, so the salespeople aren't very good. So let's remove that one, okay, because that might be the case.
Right.
The salespeople will say the leads aren't very good,
right? Because
that's a famous thing for salespeople. You say, yeah. Thanks, Harry. There, the leads are weak. No, you're yeah. Hit the bricks. Be on the bell curve. You want a coffees for losers, yeah. So that has never changed. If you go to every real estate brokerage in this town and speak to the owner of every brokerage, they will say, their staff constantly say the leads are rubbish. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't believe the leads are rubbish. I believe if somebody has filled their name, their phone number and their email address into a page, a landing page, they wouldn't have done it unless there was at least 1 or 2% worth of interest.
Correct.
As a salesperson, your job is to convert that 1 or 2% of interest into 100% of interest and a sale. Yeah. So that's what I believe.
Mm.
But salespeople will always blame. But they will always be asking for better quality leads. A developer might have to deal with 1,000 brokers to tell 10 units. The developer doesn't really want to be in sales. They develop, but they know that they've got units to sell. What advice could we give with using technology to help a developer? Let's say they've got a building, they've got 60 units in the building. Let's keep it nice and simple as a number, 60 units in a building, to get out there and have the most amount of impact that they can have.
So first things first, what has changed between when we last spoke to now, right? Everything. It is day and night. See, now marketing or the advertising that a lot of these developers are doing and the brokers are doing, and 1% conversion is very low, very low. So that tells me a couple of things. Number one is the message market match is not matching. It's a message market mismatch. Okay, that's number one. Once we get that right, yes, they put their details in, but the problem is marketing has now become a disqualification process, right? A qualifying process. So you know my girlfriend Daniel Priestley. So I invest in this company, ScoreApp, and the reason why I love that software so much because it actually gives you specific qualification. For example, those 100 leads with a 1% conversion should really be filtered before they even get to that person in the first place. So I'm going to ask you some questions like, okay, do you need a property to sell? Right? Are you thinking of buying a property in Dubai? Have you looked at any properties before? Are you buying property cash? And then the number one question, what I found with real estate, 3 really important questions. Motivation, right? Do you need to what's the reason for buying? If someone's like, I'm buying because I need to get my kid into school, that's urgency. Yeah. Because, in the UK it's like September, I don't know what it is over here. Second question is your time frame. Do you need to buy within 1 month or do you have no time frame? Someone puts, I'm not really in a rush to buy. Not qualified, right? Number 3 is your capacity to buy. So you show me these beautiful houses and where I don't tell people where you're living, but you live in a very beautiful place and all the houses are in the multi-millions. So for someone to be able to afford that, you need to know the capacity of their ability to be able to buy that, right? So from all these 100 leads that come through, something needs to go in the middle to filter it, right? To ask specific questions. Depending on how I answer the question, let's say I say, okay, I need to buy this property because my daughter needs to go to this school. I need to do it within a month and the budget is, let's say, 20 million, right? And so that is a pretty hot lead. So that goes through and it gets through to the agent only when I've answered these 3 questions, when I meet the criteria. If one of the 3 criteria does not fit, so yeah, I need to move by this time and the budget's 20 million, but I'm not in a rush, right? So where does that go? That needs to go into a separate marketing, what we call follow-up. But the problem is, you look at salespeople, they try and follow up all the time. Unless they have a CRM, it's all in their head. Then they forget, and then you got the old school books. I need to call this person at this time, and right? So they have no system to bring them back. So what you want to do is it takes now, I'll tell you a good example.
I've got to slow this down. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run an ad.
Yep.
From that ad, anyone that becomes a lead from that ad, shows interest, they're then going to go to a piece of software called ScoreApp. ScoreApp is then going to qualify them. So basically a bunch of questions are asked, 3, 5, 10, whatever the number of questions is, to qualify that person. Once it's now, so from the 100, let's say we get now 50 qualified.
Yeah.
Okay. Those 50 then through ScoreApp, then go to the next stage.
Right. So here's the good thing about ScoreApp. ScoreApp can score you based on percentage, right? So if you answer these questions in a certain way and you score 80, that's a hot lead. If they score below 50, cold lead. So now you've got 2 different types of leads. You've got hot and cold.
We can still call the cold ones.
Yes, we can. But if I've got all these hot leads, I've answered, they're ready to buy now.
Yeah.
My time as a salesperson, I want to work on that first. Or as a sales broker, a real estate broker, that's what I want to tackle first.
Yeah.
What you want to do is use AI to be able to bring these people back. How do you do
the cold leads?
Correct.
How?
So drip fed. So for example, I can go to AI now and say, write me a 15-day email sequence that goes out for 15 days, right? Telling why these people need to buy in this area. And let's say they don't have to do research. I can use something like Perplexity, which is the AI research tool, and it'll find all the areas. Why should I buy in Dubai? Why should I buy in Palm Jumeirah? Why should I buy in the New Palm? Why should I buy downtown? Why should I buy JBR, right? It's got all those different things. And it keeps sending them the details so that every time they get an email now, they've got all these facts. These are the facts. Because why, in my 20 years of experience being in real estate, there's only really 2 questions you have to answer when you're buying a piece of real estate. Right? First of all, what location do I want to buy in? That's actually probably the most important part, right? The location that I'm buying in. And of course, then, is it safe? Right? These are the two things that really people care about when they're buying real estate. And that's if they're going to live in it. If it's an investment, different story. But I'm buying this area. Is the location good? And is it safe? Right? And is it safe for my family? That's really what the most important part is. So, but if it's real estate, it's different. Is it going to rent? Is it going to sell? Can I flip it? Can I rent it out to people? So these people here, the cold ones, like one of the questions should be, are you buying it as an investment or are you buying to live in? Because now if they say I'm buying to live in, different emails go about safety, go about amenities. Schools is also important as well. That's why location's important.
No parks, all that kind of stuff.
There you go. Right? If I got a dog, right? Do you have a dog? Yes, brilliant. Down the road, I see a lot of pet parks here. It's quite cute. Dogs running around, right? So that's going to get them interested, right? But let's say I'm having as an investment, then different email sequences go out. So depending on the behavior, different messages go out. That's what we call dynamic marketing. The problem I see, and I've seen this a lot of real estate agents, is like one size fits all. Am I right?
Yeah.
And you can't sell like that. Because if I'm selling to someone who is a baby boomer, they just retired, they just sold their property, they got all this cash now, they can move and they don't need a mortgage or can't get a mortgage, it's different. Where if you're a Gen Z, right, your marketing's different. Have you just graduated from university? Do you have a lot of debt? Are you still living with your parents? You're trying to get in the property ladder, but you can't? Two separate messages. But everyone's trying to funnel it into one.
Should the property developer be generating and qualifying the leads for brokers, or should the brokers be running ads to the property developer, or should it be both anyway? Any form of lead generation, the same rules apply?
I think they both should be doing it, right? And for example, the developer's job should be really like creating amazing properties, right? Like luxury, this, and it's made from this. And as I'm walking around your house, I'm like, these are solid, right? Compared to UK is different. So they should be really selling the quality of it, the build, the area, everything that they're doing, building the brand, right? And then the positioning of it as well. And then for the broker side and the real estate agents, their job is to really sell that piece of property.
Yeah.
Walking around it, how they're talking about it. In fact, a friend of mine, he owns this company called House. And do you know what they do? They take a media team, they go around to people's houses and they put the drones, they make all the setting, put all the lighting there, and they just walk around the house really selling the piece of real estate. So then put it on the YouTube channel, they might get 20,000 people view it, but there's a buyer in that 20,000, right? So what people want to do is, and this is what I think real estate agents should do, is to turn their viewings into kind of like a cribs, right? That's what they should do.
Yeah.
Long form. And people watch it because what do people do? The biggest search engine in the world currently is Google. The second biggest search engine is YouTube. So let's say I'm moving to Dubai. I'm going to type in best places to buy in Dubai. Bang. See what videos come up.
Yeah.
Right? Ding, 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 ding. Okay, watch this one. What's the best? What's the safest area? What's the best area next to the best schools? Right? These are specific videos that I would create. And how would I know what to create? I go to Google first. I type in best schools in Dubai and location to buy. I get all the questions that come down. Each one of these titles become the title of the YouTube video. And that's how I start it because people are looking for it. So when people are typing it in, it's relevant. People watch it. They go, wow, that's amazing. Oh, I can see that Spencer agent posted that. Bang. Let me click on his name, send me a DM. Now you got hot lead. Because now you have long form content that people have actually sat down to watch it. So they self-qualify. This is, I think, what they should actually be doing.
Interesting. Okay. As a business, do you offer to go into companies and set all of that as that up for a company?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we do. So
I'm a real estate broker. I've got my 100 odd brokers. I'm busy generating the leads. The conversion's low. I say, John, come in. Okay. And you'll literally restructure everything so that it can be done the way that you're suggesting.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing you do is you basically clone people, right? Let's say you're an agent and you don't want to create content. And let's say you're a good agent, but you don't know how to sell. Do you know there's people that really know how to give information about their products and services,
but they can't close for toffee.
Right. But now I can clone you, write a closing script, and then make you say that closing script. So now you go from not being able to sell to now being a closer.
If I was to ask you to come into my real estate brokerage, if I had one, and ask you to do all of that, how much would you charge?
$250,000.
$250,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it depends which one you want. Do you want because there's two sides to this. One is the lead generation side, right? But then the other side is sales. So
I want everything.
Right. But that's why you need to.
So you come in, okay, I give you $250,000. And I'm like, John, this is what we're doing. We're 5 years old. So we remember the last podcast you did with Spencer and we applied everything from then. So it's changed now. Okay, here's the money. Crack on and fill your boots. You literally will build out a roadmap. You'll get everyone organized and you'll change all the systems so that they can literally just have a turnkey solution to that problem.
Yeah, but they still need to deploy it as well. So for example, if I give you an avatar, right, you still have to use it.
But you'll show me how to use it.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. So
it's easy. I mean, like, it's not that hard. I mean, the good news about all the things that are happening right now, have you heard of this concept called no code, low code?
No code,
low code.
Never heard of it.
Let's say you want to create an app now, right? You can go to this AI and say, create me an app that can do this, bang, and it'll code it for you. Just like ChatGPT can write for you, Lovable can actually code it for you, right? So
design an app?
We can build an app. We can literally sit down, tell me what app you want to build, and it'll build it for you. Yes.
In how long?
10 minutes. We'll do it after this. I'll show you after this, right? Tell me whatever you want to build and I'll build it for you. Then I can charge you for it.
Yeah.
Then what I can do is once we've actually created the base of other things that you need, so the knowledge base is most important, right? So the things that you definitely need conversational AI to be able to speak to people 24 hours a day. That's number one. Number two is you've got to be able to have what we call a chat bot, right? And there's 4 or 5 different areas that you need to get people, because right now we're living in a world of omnipresence. For example, you use LinkedIn, you use Instagram, you use YouTube, you use Facebook, TikTok. So you're on 4 different platforms there. So how do I know where to reach you? The answer is everywhere. So it doesn't matter, because sometimes I'll get a message from TikTok, or I'll get a message from Instagram, or I'll get a message from Facebook, and it's all over the place. But the software that puts all the messages into one place now, and based on what they respond, I can say automate a sequence to get that person qualified for this specific piece of real estate in, downtown, right? So it will just talk to them, right? You can create a chat bot and it will talk to them. So now you automate a lot of those processes.
It's so exciting. For me, the mechanics are overwhelming. Okay, I know that you walk through these steps and you say it's easy. I have to remember my PIN number for my phone, so it's easy. And technology doesn't scares me. It frustrates me because I've got to try my phone, but I don't know how to turn it on.
Wow. I
literally have got it on my phone. I downloaded it. I pay for the service, but I don't know how to turn it on. I see Alex edit videos and I watch him messing around editing it, and it hurts my head watching him do it. And so it's almost like, and I feel like I'm like lots of people, that all of these solutions are just phenomenal ideas, but it's the execution that's always the problem. And I believe it comes back down to the same point we spoke about earlier. We can't get the time back. Do I really need to spend the time doing it, or should I get somebody else to do it for me? And I don't think there's enough people I only know this city, that are in this city, that know how to do what you can do. And because of that, it's not getting done. Because if what you can do can deliver what you say it can deliver, this is what I call no-brain selling. Okay, it's a no-brainer. Okay, it's 250,000, but it's going to make you 10 million. So it's like, it's a no-brainer. It's not even a conversation. It's just like, duh, why would you not do it? And if you didn't do it, then you're an idiot, type of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, so what I realized is my mind. You're absolutely right, by the way. Like, for example, here's where we are right now. And would you agree that social media and AI and tech is moving very fast? Right? So what happens is the gap does this, right? And the longer you resist it, the bigger this gap gets. And yes, you could hire someone to do it, but that is the same mindset of, oh yeah, I just hired this agency, paid them 20 grand a month and got no result. You know why? Because they didn't know how to prompt the agency to produce the result. They can't ask questions like, what's my cost per lead? What's my CAC? What's my ROAS? What are all these metrics that they don't know? All they know is I had a social media agency and they're not producing a result. So you as a CEO have to understand AI and its capabilities. Because why? Our job as CEOs is to tell people the vision, right? We have a big vision. We need to communicate that vision to our team to deploy it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they got to do. But if you as a CEO don't understand how conversational AI works, or you don't understand how tokenomics work, or you don't understand how chatbots can integrate, or you don't understand how AI organizations with agentic AI agents connect together and how that's even possible, how are you going to instruct your team to do it? Or the company you're hiring, how do you know that what they're telling you is it possible, is it not? So
we've also got the element of, it's not broke, don't fix it. So you'll see, I'll give you an example. Sonny is who works for me, is the managing director of my insurance business.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny is, without any question at all, and if you saw him in action, you'd agree with me, he is the world's greatest networker. Sonny can go and play a round of golf with 4 people, him and 3 other people, and he can leave with 3 leads. Okay? No one else I know can do that. Sonny can walk into a networking event where he knows no one. And I mean no one, okay? I will be the guy that's in the corner with my head down looking at my phone, trying not to make eye contact with anyone because I hate networking. He would have worked the room, okay, and come away with 3 or 4 leads at a networking. The Queen's birthday cocktail party at the British Embassy, okay? Or some meetup that's never happened before. He's a machine networking, okay? He doesn't know how to teach that, but he knows it works. All right. And he's really good at it. He knows it. And he's always got leads. He's got more business than he knows what to deal with. But he heads the insurance business.
Right.
So for him, it's like, well, why doesn't everyone do what I do? It's easy. Yeah. And it's like, well, because they can't, because you don't know how to teach it to them and they don't know how to do it. Okay. I come from a world of referrals.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that if everyone gets the amount of referrals they need to get a day, let's say you need to get 5 referrals a day. If I can teach you to get 5 referrals a day, you'll have 25 referrals a week, which means you'll have 5 deals a week.
Right.
Okay. And to me, it's easy. And people look at me and they're like, this is really complicated, Spence, And I'm like, how is it complicated? If you've got to get 5 referrals a day, ask for 10, you'll get 5. Don't ask for 2 or 3, you won't get 5. Here's the process. This is what we teach. But what salespeople actually want in every industry, the world over and over and over again, are hot qualified leads.
Yep.
Okay. Now, give me hot qualified leads. And people have said this to me for years. Spence, you put 20 prospects in my diary a week and I will make you a fortune. and I'm like, yeah, of course I will. Of course you will. But the process of getting those leads, okay, people have gone down the path of spending a lot of money, like you mentioned, on ad spend, okay, creative with ad spend with agencies and got very little back from it, okay? Now, how do you know a good agency from a bad agency? I call that those marketing agencies the modern day version of double glazing sales, okay? People that are now hated, okay, because they promise everything, they charge you 5 or 10 or 15,000 pounds a month, and people then go, well, hold on a minute, I paid that money, where's my leads? Well, it's the first month, you don't get many leads in the first month. Then the second month comes, you don't get great leads in the second month. And the third month comes and they've already lost interest in the agency. And so people are really, really, in the real world, are really frustrated by that, okay? So we have our ways and our methods. And if you came and said to me, Spence, you get referrals and your process is to get 5 a day, so you get 25 a week. If I could show you a way using AI, you could get double that amount of referrals, would that be valuable to you? I'll pay good money for that.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when every business has to every business to me is the same. No sales, no business.
Yep.
If there's no business, then there's no employment, yeah? So we've got to get sales, which means we've got to bring revenue through the door. That revenue can pay for everything and people can live to fight another day, yeah?
Yep.
So that's how a business to me works. So sales is everything. We look at what you do. And we look at what everybody else is doing. If you can take the same amount of spend, if someone spends 100 and they're making a return of 100 plus, then it's worth the investment. It's not the same spend. So if I give you $250,000, okay, can you assure me you'll make me more than $250,000 back?
If you implement exactly what I tell you to do, yeah. And so let me also explain something to you as well. Gone are the days of just spending money on advertising.
For the sake of everyone, okay, I want you to be really sympathetic to me now. And I know most of you are listening and not watching, but for those that are watching too, I'm a dinosaur, all right? And I'm trying not to be. And whenever I'm with John, okay, I'm learning, and hopefully you're all learning from this too. but I'm a dinosaur. And so when you get stuck in your ways doing the things that you do and you find you're able to achieve something with it, it's very hard to veer from that path. Do you agree?
I agree.
And it's kind of like, I know this and it works. And to veer from the, but Spence, take a leap of faith. And so it's very hard to do it. And so that's what I think we always need to remember, because there'll be people driving right now on the motorway going, yeah, that all sounds very good, but yeah, that won't work in my business. That won't. We're B2B.
I can guarantee you it's worth any business. Give me any business, throw me any business, I'll show you it works. Coming back to the point of marketing, right? Gone are the days where you just spend money on marketing. You can't do that anymore. In fact, here's the formula. The whole idea is to put content out there so you get exposure. Best known beats the best. If you're invisible, no one can come to you. So that's step one. Step two, what we're looking for is we're looking for a profile visit. So for example, a lot of the new platforms now, for example, let's take Instagram. Let me show you something. So this video here hit 5.1 million views, okay, on my profile. So in Instagram, we have a new feature called a trial reel. A trial reel. So for example, if I pick any video now, let's say this one, right? You see where it says new feature trial? If I turn that on like that,
yeah,
that will not show to my followers. That will show to Instagram's followers if I turn that feature on. So this does not show on my wall. It shows on Instagram's follow page, basically.
Yeah.
Right? That means if I take a piece of content that's already working, okay, so let's let me do this again. So if I take a piece of content that's already working, in this case, this one here that's hit 5.1 million views, all I'm going to do is I'm going to post that video, the exact same video again on a trial reel. Chances are if it's gone viral one time, is there a slight chance it can go viral a second time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I did. And that one reached another 1.4 million people for free. So the key...
How many times can you do that?
Everyone adds that. Everyone adds to that. Don't abuse the system, right?
Once a day, once a week, once a...
You do it sparingly.
What does that mean? Come on, share with me some stuff here. Is it once a week?
Everyone always says this. We want to do it every day. We see this hack. Okay, here's the thing. If you do things to abuse the algorithm, right? It's like the Matrix. It knows, right? If you're posting every single day, every single hour, every single minute, it knows you're trying to get in the system.
Yeah.
So anything out of the ordinary of what you would normally do. So let's say you post once a week, you should do it once a week. Okay. Don't suddenly like make 10 posts in a day. It's going to know it looks for patterns. They're a $1 trillion company. So they know this stuff happens. So we get discovered, and that's one of the free and cheap ways to do it. Okay. We get discovery. We put content out, we get discovery. But what we're looking for, as I said at the start of this podcast, we're looking for a save. Now, why a save? Why is Erica looking for saves? Because every single save is a vote to say, I'm interested. Actually, when you save something, you show more behavior marketing. Now, guess what we can do? Now we spend money specifically on, let's say, Facebook, and say, only show this to someone who saved that post. And now we know what post they saved. Let's say they saved the post for, downtown, right? New development.
Offline, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to get a piece of content and show them exactly what they just saved. Now my cost per lead comes down, interest goes up, high conversion. That's actually, so based on what we did many years ago on the podcast, that's what's changed now. You have to have organic play with paid play in order for it to work. Unless you've got like billions of dollars to spend on marketing, and you can just, like McDonald's, just throw into marketing, because even though McDonald's is a big company, they still advertise. Why? On top of mind. So unless you're a big company and you can afford to just blow millions and millions of dollars just for, awareness, then you can do that. But for most people, this is the strategic way to do it. Do not show anyone an ad unless they've engaged with your post or at least watched some of your content. Now your cost comes down, your conversion goes up. So one of the best AI strategies that developers can use right now, it's very hard sometimes to imagine a space off plan, right? Like, I want to buy this property, it's millions of dollars, but I don't know what it's going to look like, right? So tell me what it's going to look like. So there's an AI now called qr-code.com. And what you can do, you can take any product, any service, any piece of furniture, anything. So I could take a picture of this room and put a sofa here. And actually, when I look at it, it looks real. And I can size it, I can make it bigger, smaller, and I can move it around. So that's a really incredible piece of tech that you can actually use.
Yeah.
You've got things like Meshy.com is pretty cool. So I can turn any object into a 3D object and remodel it and render it and make it look real, right? One of the best ones, face swapping. So you know that you have a YouTube channel right now, right? You can go and say, show me, let's say you're doing a post on a piece of real estate in Dubai. All you need to do is go to YouTube, type in real estate Dubai, so you use number one. You take that video, you put it into this software called Pixels. This is another one, Pixels. And what it will do, it will basically clone the thumbnail. But then if it's a picture of John Lee going, all right, but why would I want John Lee on my thumbnail? So there's a second that says face swap. You take a picture of you, your face comes on my face with the exact same thumbnail. That thumbnail can now be posted. And because that's already the highest ranking YouTube video, your video is going to get as many clicks, because the thing that happens on YouTube for organic is the click on your thumbnail. So I'm going to click to watch your video. If I don't click, I'm not watching, right? Once I click on it, I watch it, I consume it, and then I come to you as a lead, highly qualified.
Interesting. So tell me, what are the risks that you think exist with AI?
So you've seen Westworld, right?
No.
You've not seen Westworld?
What's Westworld?
Okay. So do you know now they have robotic systems? Yeah, where a robot can run, jump, it can dance, it's got full mobility.
Yeah.
Right? And they even have a sticker now. So I can have a robot there. I put this, basically it's a chip board, like a circuit board, but it's paper. And you put it on your wrist like this. And if I do this now, it control the robot's hand and I can do whatever I want with it, right? So that's next level. We're talking about Pacific Rim stuff here, right? I can sit in a robot, I can control it. What's happening now is, if you look at how robotics has advanced so much, it basically, the skeleton of a robot now looks human. So it's not just an arm, like you've got ribs and things like that. But then what's missing? The skin. So who's really good at creating realistic looking humans, right? You only need to go into Madame Tussauds to see how real they look, right? So the film industry can now create skin to now put on top of your robot. So now, if I was just sat here like this, I would look real. If you put clothes on me, put hair on me, I look real. Skin. Okay, it can even be translucent.
Yeah.
So what's missing? Your brain.
Your mind, yeah.
That's where your knowledge base comes in. Because your knowledge base gets put into here, right? And now this becomes you. This is how we can actually live forever. That's actually the thing that lives forever. So the reason I mentioned Westworld, and people watching this, you know what I'm talking about, it's basically a world of humans and robots, but you can't tell the robots. So what is the risk? How do you know if that person's real or not? How do you know if Elon's not a robot? You just don't know, because it's getting so real now, right? It's becoming that, like, another prompt you can use, like you speak to ChatGPT, say, hey, ChatGPT, if you were to take over the world and get rid of the human race, what would you implement? And it's scary what it tells you. I don't know if you've ever tried that before.
No.
Yeah. So it'll say like things to, so should there be security? Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Like, for example, and you probably get this a lot, like even now, out where we are right now in the world, you'll get people copying, because with AI now, you can FaceTime someone as you, talk like you, with your mannerisms like you, and most 90% of the people will not realize, right? So then now they're creating a lot of security, like where you can put filters on. So like if you're an AI, it'll have a red line out you. So there's someone I was speaking to in LA who was creating an app that you can install on your phone, and anything that's AI will have a red line around it. So that's why it's a double-edged sword. But the problem is the intention. What do you want to use it for? Do you want to use it for good innovation or bad? You see, the problem is now you have quantum computing, right? Quantum computing can solve 1 quadrillionth, which is like what takes, what would take a computer thousands of years to do. It can do in 5 minutes, right? You can't compete against it, right? These quantum chips that have come out it's going to revolutionize everything. Because now you don't have 0 or 1. It's not on or off. It's on and off at the same time.
they're saying that with cryptocurrency, the problem is going to be, it's going to be able to work out how to get into everyone's wallets.
It will, but by that time, that would have used that technology to counter it as well.
Yeah, got it.
Right. So it's this constant evolution. And if you look at how fast things are growing and how fast it's evolving, even when we knew about ChatGPT even a year ago, right? Look how far it's advanced right now, right? It will take over everything. But then what is left? If we are humans are not doing anything, then what is if we don't have to work, if all out, have you ever had an AI talk to an AI?
No.
I'll show you later. I'll take my laptop out and I'll have my Nova talk to my AI, and it's the weirdest thing. 2 artificial intelligences talking to each other. It's weird, really weird. So when you understand that, then what is the point of humans? Like, what do we do? That's why they talk about universal credit, right? That means everyone will get in like 1,000 credits. I'll get 1,000 credits, but still, people will still find a way around it. The future of what's coming will be tokenomics. Everything will move from fiat to credit systems, i.e. tokens. So we're all transacting tokens. And because of AI now, the new big thing is AI Web3 blockchain. So now if I want to use Nova, it has to run on credits, processing power. But those credits are tokens, which now means when I want to use Nova, I need to upload some fiat, US dollars, dirhams, that then gets turned into tokens. Kind of like what everyone's doing now with American Express. We purchase American Express, we pay with fiat, but we get points. It's the same thing. That's what's going to happen, and that's what is coming.
So when we consider the excitement around this kind of stuff, let's consider the small business owner. He's listening to you and me today, and it's like, right, I'm getting on the bandwagon. Now is the time for me to do it. Arguably me, I mean, I have that access to you, but a lot of people don't. How does someone in my situation or a small business owner find the right apps that work for them? They're being bombarded. Everything's AI in terms of adverts at the moment, and arguably a lot of the stuff is weak. So how do they find the good apps? How do they find the good quality stuff? Who's producing the best quality stuff?
Well, if you look at what AI is, really, there's lots of different variations to the same thing. So what really are the applications for AI? Imaging. So I can take a picture of you and change your t-shirt into a Mickey Mouse t-shirt, and it will fit your body perfectly and no one would know the difference.
Will it give me bigger muscles?
If I should want it, I can give you bigger shoulders.
Bigger anything else? If you want, bigger hopes.
So imaging, right? Audio. So if I want to change your voice, you want to make your voice deeper, if you want to clone your voice, then you have video as well. So there are all the AIs kind of do the same thing, right? But how do you know the one's right for you? That's why prompt engineering is important. Prompt engineering is being specific in things that you want. So that's why the best tool that people can use right now is Perplexity. Perplexity is a researching tool. So you give it a prompt. So I say, give me the top 10 tools for conversational AI, and it will give you them all, right? It will do the research for you. So you don't really have to know what ones you have, because you can always research it and they have the AI research it for you.
Of course you can, yeah.
Right? So that's like an easy prompt that you can do. But how do you get your ears on the ground? So one of the reasons why I invest in a lot of AI companies is the main reason is, okay, if the company does well, great. But I actually want to see, why are people producing these AIs? What for? And actually, what is the real use case for it? Not just a tool that is a fancy thing we can use, but actually, what are people using it for? And the real application. That's why I'm investing in these companies. Because I get a first hand of what's happening. Okay, people say, well, John, I don't have the funds to be able to do that. Go to a lot of these conferences. Learn. Go to, there's a lot of AI summits out there.
AI podcasts is the truth. You can get in your car if you want to. You can go for a walk with your dog if you want to, and you can listen to podcasts.
Yes.
There are channels that are specifically geared to AI.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the answer is quite simple. Don't make excuses. Don't be lazy. Do research. If you were going to start your own company anyway, you'd do your homework, wouldn't you? And it's a case of doing exactly the same, like you did to get the knowledge that you got.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? Like, if you want to do anything, like, the problem is with life, we get comfortable with things and it puts us into this normalcy. Like, everything turns normal. It's comfort. But unfortunately, with excellence comes uncomfort, comes pain.
Discomfort.
Right? And I said to you, Spencer, you look amazing, man. Like, how do you do that? And you always, what did you say to me?
I said, You said to me, are you going to the gym? I said, I go to the gym. It's nothing to do with that. It's food and it's miserable.
Yeah. Right. And you say, how do you look like that at your age? You say, bro, I worked really, really hard on this. So you need to do that to look like that. Right. But people need to look like that in terms of their business in order to get the things they want. There's no choice now. Do you know what I'm talking about right now? It's like in the olden days when I said, you need an email address. You're like, I don't need an email address. You need a smartphone. I don't need a smartphone. You need a website. I don't need. It's going to become that normal, Spencer. Like if people don't do it now, I'm telling you, the longer they wait, the bigger that knowledge gap's going to get and the more work they're going to have to do now. Because everyone kind of right now, everything's level for everybody. Level playing field. It's the same for you and me. Okay, maybe I know a little bit more because I've been in it more, but it won't take you long to get up to speed. And then you'll start doing all the, I guess, your own AGI, right? And that's how you do it. You must learn before you earn, right? You must.
This has been wonderful. It's been so interesting talking to you. Thank you for giving me this language simply so I can understand it. And thank you for being patient because we've been here probably for a couple of hours going through this. John, as always, an exceptional guest with so much value to add. I can't thank you enough, mate.
Brother, thanks. Always making massive impact, doing incredible work and changing lives. Appreciate it, man.
Cheers, man. This episode is proudly sponsored by Allsop & Allsop, Dubai's leading and largest real estate brokerage. They've been in business for 16 years and they have created 153 millionaires within their organization. The top earners in the company are taking in over 10 million dirhams in commission annually. Now, has that got your attention? Because it gets better. If you're considering a change in career or you're looking for your next step, there literally is only one choice. Life at Allsop & Allsop offers unlimited tax-free earning potential and an unmatched high-performance culture that you'll find in no other brokerage here in the UAE. They're there because they're designed to unlock your full potential. Be trained by the best to become the best. You'll be working with a hand-picked team of real estate experts who really are the best the industry has to offer. There's no wonder they have the strongest retention in the industry. Are you ready to change your life? Get in touch with Allsop & Allsop. Keep moving.